1127 F Avenue was originally designed by Reckwood and Jackson architects. The house was designed in 1925 and I believe completed in 1927. I think the original cost of this house was $57,000, if that's even imaginable. And it was done, I think, in the most perfect style. If we look at classic work in this style architecture and textbook work, this house had all the elements of what was done by George Washington Smith and other renowned architects.
Richard Requa, who is one of my heroes in architecture, he is a master architect and he really started the popularity of Spanish Revival architecture in San Diego. I have actually worked on a couple other Requa homes and I've always fantasized about this house because, in my opinion, 1127 F Avenue is the crown jewel of Richard Requa's career.
To think about what it took to build this place in the 1920s is incredible. I mean, they were a hard-working group of people that put this house up back then.
A project like this takes a team, and it takes certainly a lot of teamwork. Everyone was dedicated to making this one of their finest projects.
We were incredibly fortunate to have the top people in each field work on this project and really bring it to life.
1127 F Avenue was a masterpiece before we got here. And fortunately, we were able to improve upon it. And in my opinion, it is the finest house in Coronado. It is a piece of art.
The project was divided into various parts and actually took us 4 years to complete.
The design goal on this house was to not create something new and different, but to pick up where Richard Requa left off. The integrity of the original home was timeless, and our goal was to continue that idea that in another 100 years, that this house will look timeless and current yet historic. The new and the old should feel like it's coming from the same hand, or at least the same mindset.
100 years ago, we didn't have all the technology that we have today, so we really needed to deconstruct this house to be able to insert the technology that the clients wanted and that the house kind of deserved based on the era that we're building in. This has been the biggest and most complicated construction piece that I've built in my career. But my team and my crew, we like the complicated things.
One of the largest challenges on this project was the basement. The basement's partially underneath the original masonry structure, which was a challenge in itself. We held up the masonry structure, dug underneath, and excavated out almost the entire backyard, which required enormous feats of engineering.
There was 8 dewatering wells that had to be installed. We pumped 6 million gallons of water out of the ground to be able to install this basement. It has nearly a 4-foot thick foundation on the bottom. The top deck is 33 inches thick at the thickest spot. It has 5 miles of post-tension cable in it. It's built like a bridge. Another piece of that was holding up this giant brick house, but it gave us an opportunity to build this beautiful stairwell that went down to that space. It had a grand basement, 7,000 feet, with a grand entrance that went down into it.
We had the opportunity to create a movie theater that is truly one of the most amazing movie theaters, I think, that exists here in San Diego. And the screen, the sound system, the accessories, the lighting, the seating, there's nothing better and nothing more elaborate. One of the most important things for me is the hand craftsmanship. No matter where you look, you see something that is beautifully executed, certainly not dated. The artisans that were brought in to work on this house were really from all over the world.
It's a global effort, to try and get some of these things assembled here in this home. There's so many of those details here that I could go on all day talking about them. I mean, it just, everywhere you look is something special.
So you'll notice the scalloped beams, even in this space in the entry where we're sitting. That is a handcrafted detail. And so to recreate that detail, we were fortunate enough to have a woodworker who was able to do that work.
One of the most important parts of our project was the opportunity to work with Albert & Holmes, which is a family here in San Diego that are specialists in trompe-l'oeil work. The trompe-l'oeil that was designed for this house basically became part of the architecture of the house, being that there were painted designs, geometries, stencil details, freehand floral details. It basically applying art to the architecture. And many of the products that are in this house are brought from other countries.
The arch ceiling down in the basement, those pieces up there are reclaimed English roof tiles. And they were somebody's roof 200 years ago, and we were able to cut them down and make them look like bricks and install them on the ceiling down in the basement.
We brought materials in from France that are 17th and 18th century stone materials. We brought in some of the architectural details of a stone surround that's from Portugal, that's part of our garden. And then when we needed things that we couldn't find, we made them.